Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys clicked on this video, it's probably because Bitcoin just hit $16,000 and you're asking yourselves, is this 2017 all over again? Now, that is the question that I guess everyone has been asking, but it actually makes a lot of sense as to why Bitcoin just hit that $16,000 mark and started seeing some resistance. So today, what I want to do is talk about a little bit of a price projection for Bitcoin, why it hit $16,000, and if we can hit all-time highs before the year is over. So if any of that sounds interesting, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But that being said, thank you so much for Gods Unchained for sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and dive on into it. So first things first, over here on Bitcoin, I want to talk about why 16K hit. Why was this even a resistance point in the first place, and why is it significant? So if we zoom out over here on this daily chart, and we're going to actually look at this on a 3-day first, I want to take a little bit of a step back in a macro view of this massive parallel channel that we have been talking about and making videos on for months now, just to kind of see what this looks like from a bird's eye view. Now, if we zoom in over here on a 1-day time scale and break this down just a little bit more, of course, with us breaking back into this channel, having this break, hook, and go formation, we talked about $16,000 to $17,000 being this next pivotal area of resistance for Bitcoin. Now, this makes a lot of sense because if we zoom out, we can see that on the macro chart, this $17,000 area is a previous swing high. And from the previous massive parallel channel that we have been in, the heart line of this very channel is just below $17,000, which is where we saw ourselves come up to, test, and start seeing some selling off. Now, whether the sell-off is going to stay or not is a whole different argument. And in fact, I think the answer in short is going to be no. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I've been bullish on Bitcoin for months now, and I've been, kind of just saying it ever since it bottomed out off of that like $3,000 to $4,000 area. But Bitcoin is bullish. The trend is your friend, and until I see some sort of macro evidence to tell me otherwise, I will continually be bullish on Bitcoin. Now, yes, we saw a little bit of selling pressure, but if we zoom in over here, most of this is already gotten bought back up. We saw about half of this sell off, it came back down, and then immediately half of it has been bought back up to form a Darth Maul daily candle of sorts. So with Bitcoin getting back up into this area, the EMAs on this 1-day timescale are still pointed upwards. The 50 EMA is still pointing very much to the upside, and even on this 4-hour chart, which is even a smaller timescale, which means that these EMAs are going to be more volatile and more prone to point downwards on pullbacks. Even on this area, Bitcoin is holding, the EMAs are pointing upwards, and if we can zoom in over here, which I want to do, we can see that we are holding this level. We are seeing support in here. We are seeing candle wicks happening from the downside where Bitcoin is already getting bought back up. So I think that what we could be very well preparing to do on Bitcoin is to do a consolidation and then another move to the upside. Now, I think that this next move should bring us to $17,000 if we have it. Again, maybe we pull back before then, come back to previous resistance, now turn support, and then head to the upside. It's very possible that we do that. And again, we've had a very great run up from like 13 to 14,000, almost parabolically up to 16,000. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw some sort of a pullback here. But again, I think the name of the game here is that I do not believe that Bitcoin is done running. I've said this for months now, and I think that I'm going to continue to say it until I see something crazy happen or something that will change my mind. Gods Unchained is a free-to-play tactical card game built on the Ethereum blockchain, which means that it gives players true ownership over their in-game items. Players must strategically outsmart their opponents by building decks that are able to combat a wide variety of tactics. It's made for both casual and competitive players, so there's a spot for everyone, no matter your playstyle. They have a built-out lore system and a full marketplace where you can buy and sell cards for Ethereum based off their rarity. Do me a favor and support applications that are being built on the Ethereum blockchain by downloading and playing Gods Unchained today. They are constantly updating and adding new features to their game, so I left a link for them in the description down below so that you guys can check them out. Now, I do want to look a little bit just at kind of the indicators and the oscillators over here and talk about these, because everyone loves indicators, everyone loves oscillators. You know, some people love them, some people hate them, but let's have a quick chat about them, because one of the most important things to recognize, and I made videos about this years ago, because there are points in times where the indicators and the oscillators do not matter. And some people are going to hate that I say that, but there is just, you know, there comes a time where no matter what you have on an indicator, if something is going parabolic, it is going parabolic. When you start seeing pullback over here in roundings, this doesn't mean that the thing's turning bearish. I think that in order for these indicators and oscillators to start meaning something again, you really have to start zooming out to the 1 day, to 3 day, the 1 week. Think more of those larger timescales to get a larger grasp of what's happening on a macro level. And in fact, if we were to zoom out of this and look at this 1 week, I mean, we're still climbing to new weekly highs on the MACD, new weekly highs on the RSI. We are going back into that oversold, or excuse me, that overbought territory, and Bitcoin is absolutely chugging. Quick look at the monthly, we can still see that we're having the exact same area, and that Bitcoin is not even a fraction of the area of where it was back in 2018 on this relative monthly strength index. And if we want to get to that level, we have a long ways to go. Going back to this 3 day over here, we can kind of take a quick look at these guys. The story is the same on all of these. Yes, we are seeing a little bit of selling pressure, but I don't believe that these are particularly helpful for the time being. Now, they will become helpful once again, but for the time being, again, when we're going parabolic, we're going parabolic, and that the indicators are not going to help us with parabolic movements, but rather when we are in a range or a consolidation or a time period when we're not going parabolic almost back to all-time highs. So, to sum this up, guys, I think Bitcoin is in a great spot. It's at resistance. It's not a very crazy resistance. It's one that we can definitely see that Bitcoin has rejected in the past over here. So it's nothing to say that, you know, this is insignificant. It's, you know, it's definitely significant, but I think the real test is going to come when we get between $17,000 and $20,000 on Bitcoin. And once we get into that area and we start kind of seeing if we want to retest this, that's when it's going to get really interesting. And in fact, really to watch and see if this area can break, because if $20,000 breaks, the level of FOMO that we are going to see come into Bitcoin is going to be, in my opinion, a whole nother form of parabolic movement like we haven't seen on Bitcoin before. And I think that we are already starting to see this. So I want to talk about market cycles, but I think I'm going to do that in another video, so make sure you guys stick around. If you guys liked what I talked about or anything that I said, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask those in the comment section down below. I love being active and talking with you guys. You guys can also join the Discord, and there's a link to that in the description as well. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, nothing I said is legal, financial, or tax advice in any way, but that's going to sum it up for this one. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.